I'm Barb Prawl, and I have Barb's Fine Art in Marion, Iowa. 788 6th Street, Marion, Iowa. My phone number is 319-373-1090. I'm going to read my notes, and then I'm going to show you. Through the ages, artists used the golden means compositions in art. But when modern art came in, they threw out all the old ideas and had their own ideas. So canvases changed from being this shape, which is a golden mean shape, to this shape. When you go to a museum, you'll see that the antique paintings are golden mean shape. So I have changed from using up my old wonderful linen canvases to the golden means. They're linen, which I prefer, and look how they're braced. They're the nicest canvases I've come across. Before that, yarkas were the best, but we can't buy yarkas anymore. So this is what I've gone to. I have laid this out with the grid line for the golden means. So my center of interest is in one of these corners, and I'll go back to that in a little bit. And the rule of thirds came from the golden means, but the rule of thirds, see how far out these points are? But if I did the golden means, they would be in a little further. Your paint goes on smoother, it's much kinder to your brushes, and the quality of that paint is so much richer. Most of my students like to use the cheap canvases. I haven't convinced them how important it is to use a better quality canvas. Put my center of interest here. I'm going to go up and around and hit these spots and come out down here. So it's called a Da Vinci curve. Comes up here and up and around and back into my spot. So as I paint, which we will do on our next video, I'm going to stand out there, and I want my center of interest down here, because in our culture we read left to right. So the reason I chose this spot is so the light comes in this way, and you'll see how the center of interest is enhanced by being this far over. The light can flow all the way across. Okay, we're going to go back over this. This is the golden means, and these, you measure the width of this and divide it by 1.618 and make your mark. And then you do the same thing this side, and then you take this section and mark it by 1.618, and you get that square, and then you do this one, and you get a smaller square, and then you do this one, smaller square. I do that all the way, and then you do this way, 1.618. You get down to here. So I do that a lot of times on my canvas, just to give me an idea where the golden point is. And so I'm putting that in there because maybe I'll use it and maybe I won't. Then if I measure, this is sight size, so that's about sight size. If I measure that area, I do a lot of sight size. So then I could still put some of this road in. I don't think I want that, but if I wanted to do sight size, I could put that side in. I'm going to do a little bigger than sight size. So I measure that tree, I put my finger on my brush, of course there's the car in the way, and that's how tall I measure the tree. So that's not too bad. So then I measure, and since I want to hit a spot, I measure from tree to tree. That's about where that tree was, but I want it over further, so I'm taking it back out and moving it to there. And then that tree measures that tall, so that's about how tall that is. And then I'm going to measure over here where the water is beyond this, and I'm going to go across here to the water. Let's see how it measures up here. It's up about that high. So I'm going to come across with that water. And it looks like it bends. There's a peninsula out there. There's a little thing jutting out here. I may leave it in, I may take it out. But this is what everybody is always asking me. How do you start a painting? This is how I do it. Then you have to watch the rest of it if you don't want, but I'm going to get it locked in so I'm showing how I start. Here's my second tree. And I may leave them there and I may not, but I at least get it started so I know how, and it doesn't have to be accurate. These trees Then if I'm going to do my sky, I will start then putting my sky in. I'm going to take a yucky brush because I'm just not worrying about how it starts. And I'll work my way down and get it blocked in today, and that's all I'm going to do. So I'll take them off. You know, the sun comes through it. But I first put my idea down to know what I'm going to do. Those lines are going to show for today, but there's another day. And I'm scrubbing in paint. And I sprayed this with turpentine. Well, I would varnish because I didn't want to have the lines go away so you could see where they were. Paint, you're okay. My dog likes to make this noise. So I will eventually, in the summer, the top of the sky is ultramarine. Now I will change that as time goes on, but I'm putting it in like it is in the summer. You come down and the next color down is cobalt. You always gray your corners. So I will gray that in time. I just want to show you how I block in the painting. Come down, and I didn't put, oh I might put it up. It's cerulean. That doesn't look like cerulean, but it might be. And then it's cerulean, and then it's viridian green, because the sky, as you come down near Earth, it gets reflections. I might put a little viridian in there just because I have it. So I'm going to lose those trees, but that's alright. And I can make a pretty sky now, but I don't have to, because I just want to show you how the first starts. This won't take very long. These back in there, they're kind of uneven, so I'm just going to kind of poke colors in. The white's in the way. It happens. White's in the way, but it's okay. And it's not green enough. So how do I make green darker? I add red. I think I better clean the brush. Let me get some of the white off the brush. Let me pause. Okay. I'm going to take some red with my green to make it darker. Too much red. Potent. Way too much red. It's okay. Wipe it off. Get some of it off the brush. And try it again. See how much darker that green is when I paint? And I just want, oh, on the brush. So I'm going to come down and make them a little bit yellowy green. I'm not even worried too much about the color because I know I'm going to go back over it. I just get the base paint in there. I measure that. Those are only that tall. So I may raise the water. It doesn't have to be a carbon of the picture. There's that tree there. So I didn't like the trees that tall, so I brushed them out. I'm going to come down and do them again. Just nothing's set in stone the first day. Just do it. I'll put them down here lower. I will come back and paint on this another day. Opposites make your colors darker. If you want to get them black, you mix all three, yellow and red and green together. But there's always red out there, so I'm not going to worry too much. All those stuff are pretty. Right about here, but that's one of those lines. Remember I made it. Well, I better get this tree up down here. Are you okay, babe? I just like to go out at first coat and get it kind of started. I see a light green right along here. Oh, that's not green. That's white. But it never hurts. Learn more from mistakes you do than accidental right. So, if this was drier, light. A little bit more. I have a little yellow and white mixed together here, because I don't ever use white alone. So light rays coming across there just a little bit. And my center bench is right there, so I've got that lighter. And I think I could do a little bit more. What do you think? Oh, I really wanted to haze these trees out back here, so I'm going to back too much, so I'll just keep putting it on there. And if I get too much, I'll just wipe it off. See how that pushes it back? And back more. That might be not too much. Push them way back. Okay, so on the other side of the river, and just a little bit wipe off. I think that's about what I want. I might do more later, but then I'll put my light rays back in very lightly. There. And the fan brush kind of works nice for this. And that pushed those trees back just a little bit more. And I know they should flare different, but who's going to know? Okay, so then the next, okay. I'm going to try to grade my corners. It's not working, so that's all right. Okay, so I'm going to gray my corners. Way too much color. That's all right. Are you taping them? Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm graying my corners to bring my eyes into focus. And I'm going all the way around the corners. And I probably will finish this after the video is over, but I'm showing you how I do it. Not every time, because, you know, every time you paint, you kind of paint a little different because you have different feelings, because you paint from your heart, not your heart and your hands, not, I don't think when I'm painting, I just do. What comes out of my arm and down my fingers and out my hand. So you let the feeling in your heart come out your hand, out your heart, down your arm, and out your hand. But see how that's starting to focus that into the middle a little bit, and I need a little more dark down in there. But this is one way I start. And if I cover up something, I don't worry about it because I know I can go back and change it. Look how much that helped that water just by darkening it and make that come out. And I'm going to take a brush and kind of just feather this out so it's not quite so nice. That brush isn't working too bad. I didn't know how it would work. See how we kind of focus down into the center of interest is right there. And I'm going to put a little bit of dark under here to bring that out. Now just go back and play with this later, and maybe we'll get a shot of it when it's done. And maybe not, we'll see. But this video is meant for teaching, not for how the outcome came. So now I'm going to brush that out and bring you into there. And then I'll go back and add a strong highlight right here to bring you into here. And I don't know if that did it, but it's good enough. And I just like to play around, see what I can get. Direct my eye up there. So I'll come down here and put some things and kind of direct my eye up that way. And I want that tree kind of not to be quite so I'm going to haze it out a little more. It's on the edge, so we just haze this out a little bit more. Okay, I'll probably put more water highlights in there and things, and then I'll play with this. I'll probably go back out there when it's nice weather and kind of put some little bit of ripples in there. Don't want them all in a row because they wouldn't be. And I may leave those and I may take them out, but it's kind of the way I play. I just get a feeling for what I want. That's it. We're done. Looking. This is one way I start a painting. Not always, but half the time at least.